This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great comp hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Got Jason Snellgrove here. Glad you could come on here with us.
Well, we're glad to be able to join you guys.
Have you got us on speaker where we can talk to both of you,
Yeah.
or how are you doing it?
I got you on speaker where you can talk to both of us.
Okay, that'd be great. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Judge.
Yeah.
Listen. You hear me in there?
We're talking to bench show people. We ain't even talking about no hunting like that. What are you doing?
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then forget it. I was wanting you to tree me in right there.
No, we ain't treeing nothing right now. We're fixing to talk to somebody that knows more than you do.
Well, who we got on here?
Sabrina and Buddy Ray. How's it going tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for taking time to be on here with us. We're excited to get going and kind of hear some stories here and how y'all got going. And so why don't you start off by just kind of telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, and kind of where you're from and that type of thing.
Well, we live currently at Mansfield, Missouri. We have two girls. My oldest one does show dogs with us. My youngest one doesn't, unfortunately. We've tried. She just has no interest. I've been showing dogs for 16 years. Well, started in 2006. I guess it's actually been longer than 16, ain't it? And I started with Buddy, actually, when we got engaged, and he started taking me to dog shows and got me interested in it. He started a lot sooner than I did.
I started coon hunting in like 93 when I was a teenager. I started showing dogs in 2003. I bought my first one from Gene Allhands, and Gene kind of said, "Hey, you need to learn how to show these dogs." I was like, "Well, all right." So that just kind of exploded from there. So,
Buddy, what was that? A blue ticks?
as a red bone.
Red bone.
So is that?
I had the wrong gene. That's my bad. Go ahead.
So is red bones, or what are you showing now, or what? Are you show a little bit of everything, or? I
can answer that. Hold on. They're like you. They're not colorblind, are you?
No, they were like me. They want to hunt a winner or show a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Right now we have 4 different breeds.
I think so.
Yeah. Right now we've got English, Korean Walkers, American Leopard Hounds, and Sabrina still has a few old blue dogs right there.
So what did you get started with? I guess the red bone and predominantly red bone, or did you always kind of have it mixed up a little bit?
Well, when I first started coon hunting, it was Walkers, and I grew up with Walkers. Well, I sold my Walkers when I went in the military. Well, when I got back out, I had a young cousin that had started coon hunting, and he had Walkers, and I started going with him again, kind of showing him some of the stuff I had learned. And he said, "You need to get a dog." And I thought, well, he'll never find a red bone. I said, "Well, if you can find me a red bone, I'll buy it, and I'll start hunting with you all the time." It wasn't even 24 hours. He called me. I found a guy that sells red bones up at Republic, Missouri. Well, shoot. So that's how I met Gene Allhands. I bought a pup from him in 2003, and Gene kind of got me in, started kind of showing me how to show a little bit and this and that, and it just kind of took off from there. I mean, the pup, he was 6 months and 2 days old. I took him to the Southern Missouri Classic in Ava. Showed up, and them guys kind of all chuckled like, "Hey, you can't win a bench show with a puppy." And he got best to show his first show, and after that, I just hooked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, first off, let me say thank you for your service. We do appreciate that.
You bet.
So you started off with that red bone, showing him, and I guess have you always hunted and showed, or did you move more into one or the other?
I do most of the hunting for us and the night hunts and stuff, but we try not to have a dog that just shows. We try to have a dual purpose, whether they're tree and coon and showing, or like some of our leopards show, but we also do deer recovery with them.
Okay. What you got?
Well, I was going to put a little input in there a minute ago, but you had me muted up over there.
Well, I didn't want you being rude and interrupting him.
Golly. I wasn't going to interrupt.
He does well, don't he?
Yes, he does.
So, hey, Sabrina, when you guys got engaged or whatever, that's when you got into the dogs. So Buddy got you into the dogs when you first got together?
Yes.
So you was never around hounds or anything before then?
No, I showed horses and I showed halter horses. So showing dogs kind of came naturally because I already had a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, all I ever had was stock dogs, mostly border collies. The hounds kind of just took off, and I started liking it, enjoying it. I like to compete, and it's been a lot of fun doing it through these years.
Awesome. I don't know how long I've known you all, but it's been quite a while.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah. I think, Buddy, was you hunt? Let's see. Was me and you ever hunting against each other ever before you got married? Before you guys got married?
The first dog I really remember is your Lori dog.
Okay. All right. Hey, my pen's quit. You've given me a faulty pen. I can't even write with that thing.
I'm going to add y'all to my prayer list at church. I didn't know y'all knowed him that long.
We're going to get into some. I want to get into some other questions here in a little bit, and some stuff you probably, you may or may not want to tell, because I'm going to have some. I know that there's tricks to every trade out there and stuff, so we're going to hit on some of them here in a little bit. But what was the Sabrina? What was the take us from the beginning, like your first dog that you started showing and doing something with, and what breed it was, and all that. What got you started off showing?
Well, so Buddy had a puppy out of this Redbone Ranger that he had started showing, and we had named him In Charge Sarge. And I could not win with that dog if my life depended on it. Could not. I don't know how many shows I had him in and could not get that best in show with competition. I mean, it was pretty tough. I never quit, though. I pushed and pushed, and I think it was actually at Chadwick that I ended up getting that best in show.
Yep.
So that was like the local shows and stuff you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't have a clue about Autumn Oaks. I didn't have a clue about the world. St. Jude, I didn't have a clue about any of what we consider major events. I was just trying my hand at it and trying to go out there. Some of the things I learned through the years is be open-minded, listen to people, ask for help. I mean, I found that through the years is asking for help on how to fix something or do something. And most people out here are willing to help you on that. But, I mean, I made him a champion, and he ended up going back to, Gene's brother, Rex Allhands, bought him from us.
Because of the name.
Just because of the name.
Yeah.
Which happens. Well, then Buddy went and bought another Redbone from Gene Allhands, and that was Haley.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really when I started kicking off into going to the major events. We went to Autumn Oaks for the first time.
Yeah, but I bought Haley because she was supposed to just been a breed female.
Yeah.
I mean, she was only, and I got her home and kind of got her out and gave her a day or two and kind of got looking at her. And I thought, Sabrina, well, she's awful good looking just for a breed female. And Sabrina started showing her and got her in the top 10. We took her to Autumn Oaks.
Yep. Didn't do no good, but still took her.
That was our first trip to Autumn Oaks.
Learned a lot the first trip at Oaks.
Let me interrupt you. About what year was this? Do you know approximately?
2010.
2010.
Yep, 2010.
Okay.
We took her down to St. Jude when it was AKC in Parsons, Tennessee. And honestly, that was I would call it my first major win. I ended up getting opposite sex with that female down there.
Mm-hmm. And that was an AKC?
That was AKC.
Was that what was like, how big of a show was that compared to like Autumn Oaks or something? Was it comparable but just a different registry, or as far as the size?
Well, not really Oaks, because Oaks is huge.
Huge, yeah.
There was probably 40 dogs
Probably
in the show.
Okay.
Something like that. Now it's a UKC show. The world's largest coon hunt benefit for St. Jude.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was her first win, and I ain't even gonna lie, I was kind of flabbergasted. I never dreamed we'd ever win anything big, And after that, it just kind of, we got to knowing people, and things just kind of took off.
So, is that win there? Did that that had to have like sparked a fire under you to like, hey, we're gonna get after it even harder and just go bigger, and or did it, or you just went on from there, right? I mean, that had to have give you a big boost of confidence. And
It gave us a big boost of confidence, but I think the thing that probably sparked the fire is when we went to the UKC World. I think that same year, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Haley.
With that red bone and a metal red bone.
Yeah. And I got told by a very personal friend, I was showing a young red bone, and Sabrina was showing the Haley dog.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I didn't do that good. He was young. He was not even a year old, probably. And I got told that you'll never win at a major event unless you hire a professional handler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being told no. You can ask Sabrina. She knows. So that kind of motivated me in a way. I was like, well, I can't afford to hire one, so I'm going to make a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to work trying to figure this out, and Sabrina did too. And we've taught a lot of this to our oldest daughter. And she's a great handler. And it's just kind of, we've talked to different handlers, Megan Perez, Danny. If you'll talk to these, 99% of the time, if you'll go up and talk to these people, they'll help you out.
Mm-hmm.
That really did spark our being told, hey, get a professional handler. That competition part of me was like, I'll show you. Just hold on, I'll got this.
Yeah.
We kind of jumped ship at that point and kind of switched breeds a little bit.
Well, some of us jumped ship.
Okay, I jumped ship. I kind of jumped the ship and maybe went over to a walker dog.
Mm-hmm.
And you went.
I did.
You bought Autumn.
And I bought Simon.
Yeah. Well, Sabrina bought this puppy at Autumn Oaks the first year we went.
Mm-hmm.
My Autumn female that I hunted for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Autumn's still alive. She just turned 14 the other day.
Wow.
But anyway, she bought her. She was going to be the next big thing. This was a national level show walker dog.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Autumn home. Sabrina went to trying to break her, and Autumn broke Sabrina. And Sabrina said, I'm done with her. So she gave her to me, and me and Autumn went to the woods, and we've had a good time.
So something I have learned over the years, that not all dogs will make show dogs, and not all dogs will make hunting dogs.
Yeah, that's true. That is a fact.
Bloodline plays a lot into those. We've been blessed to have dogs that have been pretty good dual-purpose dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We've had dogs that we wish we could have do-overs.
Oh, I bet.
Like Sabrina, she bought a dog. It went back to Val Nelson's dogs. That was the little walnut Simon dog.
Mm-hmm. And that was our first
and he was known for a show dog, but that dog could tree coon. And he was a coon dog. He was in one competition hunt and got a first place. We never put him in another one.
You was mainly showing him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we bought him for Sabrina to have a show dog, a national level show dog.
Here's one of the fun things that we learned real fast on having a national level show dog that you buy. Simon became very close to me. I could not show Simon.
That's right.
Simon would not show for me because all he wanted to do was protect me.
Uh-huh.
When we hunted, I could not hunt him because he wouldn't hunt. He would just wait for me to make sure I wasn't being harmed in any sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Was that an HCX hunt?
Yes. And he went leave, or he left, but he was peeking around trees, making sure I wasn't hurt.
Yeah, he'd go out, and then but they would look around, and he'd be peeking around a tree and make sure that judge wasn't doing nothing there.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, I could take him, and he would kick rocks in your face and go tree hunting.
Wow.
So when we went to Automos with Simon, and I don't remember what year that was.
12.
Was it 12?
2012, yeah.
We actually had a really good friend named Lori Galbraith who showed him for me and I had to literally go hide. I was not allowed to be anywhere where he could see me.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually ended up being the national grand champion Green Walker.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I was thrilled, but again, I couldn't show him, which was kind of, I don't know, hurtful because he was my dog, but I could show him.
Yeah, it was nice to be the owner of the dog that won something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we did the conditioning and we've done a lot of the work, but to actually win it with your own dog, you doing it is a totally different experience.
Oh yeah,
it is.
That's the way with hunting them too.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels different. Totally feels different. Yeah. So before we get on, I got to say something. I got to interrupt on the hunting and the show. Like as far as having a dual purpose dog, do you think that? And I've always wondered this because I never see. I hear people that show dogs, and let's talk local level. Let's talk national level on both aspects. So I would think, and you guys are the pros. I'm not, but I would think that if I was going to show a dog that I even thought was dual purpose, I'll get it spit out here. I wouldn't want to take that dog hunting. I wouldn't want to get a cut on him. I wouldn't want to have any kind of flaw on that dog if I was going to show it. So I guess what I'm saying is it really even possible to have a dual purpose show and hunting dog on the national level? Or is that something that you just do on the local level because you can get by with it? Or how does people think about
Absolutely
that?
Not.
No, I mean, Sabrina has her old Rojo dog, which I made him a Grand Night. In fact, I finished him at Missouri State, the Grand Night champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then she won 2016.
2016, yep.
The Blue Tick male world champion at the World Rookie.
Yep, I remember that. I remember Rojo.
Tom Williams had hunted him at Zones the weekend before that.
I mean, the thing about these hounds is, first and foremost, they're supposed to be dual-purpose dogs. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be going out there hunting or doing some type of job. You take a chance every time you turn one loose. I mean, like Rojo, he's had a tick disease, and it has ruined him on the hunting part. Still, at the showing part, he probably would still stand a pretty good chance.
Mm-hmm.
But a good prime example is we have a leopard male down here that has ripped up ears and went on to win the male leopard in the UKC world, even with those ripped up ears.
So the judges at that level, they just kind of overlooking that stuff because...
Well, I mean, they're allowed to have hunting injuries. I mean, they are hunting dogs.
Right.
And I mean, it says hunting injuries. It doesn't say coon hunting injuries. It just says hunting injuries.
Right. But do you think it? But I guess what I'm getting at. Do you think it makes an impact at all overall? Do you? I mean, do you think it has a negative impact on, as far as those most judges judging those shows? For them to have some of them flaws, do you think they look at it that? I've always wondered that.
To me, no, because I think a lot of judges, especially if they hunt,
right?
If that judge hunts and he sees a scar or something, he may be like, "Hey, what happened?" Like, "Oh man, coon got a hold of him,"
Yeah.
Oh, he's cooned up. Yeah. Now, does that affect his final decision? I don't know, but I mean, he's got it in his mind that that dog looks good. But he got that. He's a working dog too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
I mean, as looking at a dog, I'm not gonna mark them for a scar or anything like that. I mean, my biggest thing is I understand they're hunting dogs, but if I'm seeing backbones, hips, and ribs showing, then I'm probably gonna knock them for that. Just lay the feet to them. Right. I understand they're hunting dogs, but yeah, you feed them.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, and I mean, like Sabrina, I hate to keep going back to him, but Sabrina's Rojo dog, she showed him a lot, and I hunted the wheels off that dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was a pretty boy, and he knew it.
Oh yeah.
So if you rolled a coon out, he made sure when he got a hold of it, there wasn't no fight. I mean, it was just done.
Right. I'm sure hunting him kept him muscled up good too. Kept him good fit, good shape.
It did, and that dog, he carried muscle, and he reproduced muscle, and he's pups a lot of times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So before we move, I wanted to talk about him a little bit too. I know you probably got him memorized, or you may have him wrote down, hopefully, on his accomplishments and stuff. But I want to back up. I want to back up from where we was kind of going in order to back to Simon in 2012. So, what was after him? What come after Simon, or did you have him a long time, or what?
We actually had Simon up until he was probably 8
or 9.
8 or 9. But we had a pup out of Simon that we pushed after that, and his name was Ham.
Roddy Ridge's Sam Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And we really...
That was one of them do-over dogs.
Yeah.
I think I remember that dog.
Ham won Illinois State. Jeremy Taylor showed him and won Illinois State for us.
He won Best in Show at St. Jude. He won P. Andre, Champion Male.
Most of his big wins come from somebody else showing him for us because we couldn't make it, so we would just send him.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he also won Best of Breed at Winter Classic. I can't believe I remember all of Ham's wins like that off the top of my head.
He's doing better than that.
I mean, that was probably... Ham was the first one we actually showed ourselves and won with at major events, because Winter Classic was that first. He was a puppy.
Well, when he was 6 months old, I took him to the ACHA Little World, and he won Reserve World Champion.
Oh, wow.
At 6 months old.
Nice.
So, yeah, he was one of those that we with. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a baby. Yeah, in fact, I got ready to leave because I was by myself. And I took Sabrina's car. And I think I made it up to 60, maybe 3 or 4 miles, and Ham had puke. I mean, everywhere. I turned around, come back home, told Sabrina, I was like, nah, I ain't got time to go. You know, the dog's going to get sick again. She's like, just go. So I come home, cleaned it up, got there right before time to enter, got him entered, and he ended up with my reserve for it.
Awesome.
All of our stories have to start with a bad road trip.
Yeah. Well, Sabrina's got a bad road trip with Rojo.
So, I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think there was really anything after, Toby Mac. Smack, Toby Mac.
Yeah.
Was after Ham?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, together. They're kind of there together. We kind of had multiples going. Toby was older.
What kind of dog was he?
He was a blue tick.
Blue tick.
He was
Okay.
a rocket dog.
I was partners with him with Whitney Bray and Lori Galbraith at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised you don't remember Toby Mac. He was a big, big blue dog, big ears.
Did you show
And
him
so
down
we
at the
showed-
Uchman? Did you show him out down at
Yeah.
the Uchman Memorial a time or two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think I remember him.
But he was one of those ones we were showing at the same time as Ham, and we just couldn't get our feet to the door. I
Mhm.
mean, just not going much of anywhere with him. And about, I don't know, we kind of laid off both of them and didn't really have anything to go with. Did Mia come into that picture about that time?
Well, I'd had another black leopard that I
Yeah.
bought and got her started in the woods. Showed her at Winter Classic, and she got best of breed. And I ended up selling her. Somebody offered me like $600 for her, and I sold her. And the minute I done it, I regretted it. I whined at Sabrina until Sabrina was like, "Why don't you just go buy another one?" And that would have been about 2015
Probably.
because Adina Fuznicker had won the world with Indigo, and I ended up getting this cup out of Indigo, a solid black leopard female, and that was our Mia dog. And Mia, I ended up winning the breed UKC World Champion Leopard female. She won it 3 times.
Yep.
Savannah won it with her twice, and I actually won it with her once.
So, like I said, Mia kind of stepped in there. And Joe and Miss Polly down in Tennessee had blue ticks that we had been a part of on some things. And they actually had contacted me about the same time and said, "Hey, I've got this female that I know it would have been Missy. We can't really show. We don't have the time. Do you want her?" So we went to Tennessee and picked up Missy, and then we had Mia. I think we picked them up about the same time, too.
Same time.
Missy was older than Mia, so
What was
I mean, she's
what
now
was
10.
Missy?
Blue tick,
A blue tick, and Mia was
the leopard.
the leopard. Okay.
Yep. So Missy went on to, she won several local events. She just had a very bad attitude. It's a nice.
We called her Eeyore. She acted like Eeyore all the time. She looked like just depressed all the time.
You take her to an event, that dog wouldn't eat. She hung her head. She hardly wouldn't gait. She was not treat motivated. So she was kind of like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." But we found out later a lot of her issues was because she had Ehrlichia.
Okay.
So
who had her
there's
licky
that
again? I
wonderful
kind of
tip.
got interrupted here, and you couldn't see it, but
Missy,
Missy. Okay.
the blue tip.
Gotcha.
But that kind of stepped us up into how Rojo kind of got switched over to us.
Yes.
Which that, I mean, I can never thank Tom Williams enough for that opportunity at the Uchman, because he stepped up and said, "Hey, I got this young dog. Can you help me show him?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, "I'll help you." So we step out there to practice, and he's setting this dog up, and I look at this dog, and I look at Tom, and I said, "Can I show him?"
But the record needs to be set straight. The first king of show at the Uchman that Rojo got, I was actually handled. Sabrina may have got him there, but I'm the one that finished it on out there.
Well, yeah, and we won Best of Show, and that was Rojo's first show, and he wasn't even a year old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already committed to showing some other guy's dogs, so I didn't feel appropriate backing out on that dog to show Rojo, even though I knew I couldn't beat Rojo.
Right.
So Buddy stepped in to show Rojo, and yes, they won King of Show.
Good job, buddy.
And that,
Hey, at least I got to see the trophy.
or went home with Tom.
Or went on with Tom, yeah.
And I think that same year, then Tom contacted us about showing at Fall Roundup at West Plains, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we ended up winning down there.
Yeah, I don't remember what he won down there, but yeah, he won best of show or champion. I can't remember.
No, he wasn't a champion as of yet. It was still best of show, and then he won, I think, overall on Thursday night or Friday night. But then he turned around and won second place overall in the hunt as well. And then Rojo, about the time he turned 2 years of age, Tom got a hold of us, and I'd already been showing him off and on. We won that Missouri State champion male. Brett, I think you were there for that.
At Cole Camp? Yeah.
Yep. I think you were the judge, weren't you?
I don't know. Did I judge that year? It's been a long time ago.
It's been a while back.
Well, after that, Tom got a hold of us. He was wanting to sell them. I didn't have the money to buy Rojo for what he wanted, but I have a good friend in Tennessee I know did have. So I got a hold of Rick Morris and said, hey, told him about this young blue dog, what we've been doing. Rick said, yeah, I'll send you the money. You can buy him, and then we'll split him. You guys take care of him, do whatever. So I'm thinking, Rick's going to mail me a check. Well, in like 3 days, I go out there, and there is an envelope in my mailbox, and he had put it all in cash and mailed it. And I about fell over and had a heart attack.
Are you kidding me? The whole amount in cash?
I called him. I was like, holy cow, don't ever do that again.
Yes, it was all in cash.
Oh, my goodness.
But, I mean, that's just Rick. That's that trusting,
Yeah.
But so anyway, we bought Rojo.
Uh-huh.
Tom hunted him at the zones.
Well, he hunted him at the zones, and the deal was then processed, even though at that time. But we technically didn't buy him except that Monday after zones.
Yeah.
After he went to zones.
After he went to zones. Well, then the following Saturdays when Sabrina won male blue tick world champion with it.
The following weekend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Literally the following weekend.
Nice.
Rojo was my jump off dog on, because I was the one who broke him to show. I was the one who taught him conformation, how to gait, all that. He was so easy. I mean, the dog made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
The dog don't like me.
The dog didn't like Buddy. The dog didn't like anybody but me still yet. So to this day, sorry.
Those are nice when they're easy.
Oh, he was really easy to break. Because Tom never was with him, and he was still standing on the bench and not move, even at the first time I ever showed him an instrument, and that was the first time on the bench. But he was that jump off point on so many levels for us.
And Rover was kind of a fluke. I mean, his grandpa had been the UKC blue tick male world champion, Clyde, Longtail Clyde dog.
Mm-hmm.
But he was bred to hunt through and through.
Oh yeah.
And then he turned around and done that, and it's kind of like, wow,
Yeah, I mean, that was a very tough, emotional day. That's where that story comes in. The vehicle ride. We actually were going to the world with
my pickup
in Buddy's truck, which was Toyota then.
David Boyd.
David Boyd was going with us. So we had 4 dogs going with us. We started off about 10 o'clock that night. Going to drive through the night, get there early, get some sleep, get up in our dogs, and show was what the plan was. But we got to North of Rolla, and that truck all of a sudden just shook. And Buddy's like, well, that's weird. He pulled off, and we had broke how many studs?
It had 5 wheel studs, and I had broke 3 of them. Of course, couldn't find no place to fix it. So I tightened the other 2 back down and limped it back home. And we got in the driveway, and, everybody's like, well, I guess we're, so much for that. And I kind of looked at the clock, and I was like, if we didn't stop, I could get us there in time. And we all Me, Sabrina, David Boyd, and 4 hounds bailed in her little Toyota RAV4. And of course, didn't break no laws or nothing. But we got there 5 minutes before the deadline to enter the show.
Wow.
In between all this, I've got Randy Hilton texting me going, "Where are you guys at? Where are you at? Where are you at?" And he's in there telling UKC they're on their way. They've had some vehicle problems, So when I walked in with our entries, our cards, and Alan looked at me and he goes, "It's okay. Calm down. You've got time. You've made it." So I'm entering dogs. David and Buddy are walking these dogs. I mean, and it's just felt like everything was being rushed at that time. I have to say that being rushed. And UKC that year decided that they were going to do everything different.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they hand the trophies out right then and there, and you can go get your picture taken, and no, they weren't handing trophies out. They were going to do award ceremony afterwards. So here I go and win with Rojo, not having a clue. And by the way, that dog is still on my list. He peed on me that day for the first time ever.
Me too.
And then he turned around and peed on Buddy.
You said him shook up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he was shook up. Him and my other blue tick, Misty, were fighting in the back seat on who was going to lay next to me. And David's dog was hanging his head over the seat on my shoulder.
I guarantee you we look like the Beverly Hillbillies when we roll in there.
I bet you
So
did.
then we have all these things to bring home and no idea how to bring them home. Because how are you going to bring 4 dogs, 3 people, trophies, dog food, all home in a RAV4?
So you guys all of yous won up there, or 3 of the 4 dogs won up there, or what?
No, just Rojo.
Just Rojo.
Rojo won 2. I forget. He won like 2 trophies, a chair, dog food.
Oh, gosh.
3 trophies because he had that cup too.
Oh, yeah, he's got the cup. I don't know.
But we had so much, there was no way we was going to get off. Luckily, Randy and Jenny Help was up there. And they lived fairly close to us. And Randy took Missy.
Yep.
And stuff for the trophy.
All the trophies. Every award they took home for it.
Brought it home for us.
Yeah, I mean, and then we made the stupid decision to leave there afterwards and drive home after being up all night. I think we got home, 2 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know. We pulled in at Sullivan to get gas, and I told them I am done. And I don't even remember leaving the gas station, and I woke up at home. So
I have to say thank you to David Boyd. David Boyd kept me awake driving home.
Did he? That's good.
Yes.
But
then he turned around and drove on home.
Yeah, he turned around and drove on home to Chadwick, I guess.
Yes. It was a good memory, and that definitely lit a fire under us, on at least me, on wanting to go ahead and continue going down that road and showing.
That's good.
I mean, Rojo has took us so many places. I don't even know. There is tons and tons of places that we've shown him and hunted him, and even stepping into the confirmation ring was a big jump off point for us on that too.
Mm-hmm. So you've went from red bones to walkers to blue ticks, leopards, and then to Rojo, which is another blue tick. So, what breed? You surely have a favorite. I bet I probably got a good guess, but like, what breed do you favor and why? Or, maybe you don't.
If I'm getting one to night hunt, that's going to be me night hunting it, I want a walker dog, but it's got to be a certain bloodline and it has to do it a certain way.
Okay.
Because I have 0 tolerance for a tricolored dog.
Mm-hmm. What about a showing here?
Wait, hold on. He thinks he knows us this well. Let's see if he can guess what breed I prefer.
Who? No, I don't. I would say.
What breed do you think?
I would say that you probably like a leopard.
No, that would be me.
You're the leopard one? I knew one of yous was. I couldn't remember.
I'm the one that drugged the leopard.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Then Sabrina, you're the blue tick. You'd have to be because of Rojo.
No.
Sabrina actually likes her walker dogs.
Really?
I would prefer to have a walker dog.
Walker dog and leopard. Hey, just cut this thing off right now. Just shut it off on him right now. No, I'm teasing.
He's had to say walker too many times. He's getting a little green in the gills.
Yeah.
Well, I would say English, but somebody might have sent me an English dog that kind of broke me from English dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say there's a lot of truth to that. I know something about that English dog, maybe. So, get back on topic here. Enough about the English dogs from that guy. Them sorry ones. Is the competition? Do you think the competition of one breed tougher than any of the other in the show world?
Absolutely, 100%.
What's the toughest? What's the toughest competition? What breed?
I mean, it's honestly a throw up between the English and the walkers. I think
for the first toughest
in the big show.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be second?
Black man.
Black and tans is pretty rough anymore too. I mean, there is a lot of good looking black and tans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes and goes. Walker dogs are usually your predominant ones on that. They do a lot of the winning. Black and tans are pretty high up there. English dogs are too. And then some of the blue ticks are pretty high up there on that too. So, I mean, it just depends on the judges too.
And you just got the dang old leopard dogs.
Yeah, then you got these leopard dogs. They don't win nothing. Don't worry about them.
Yeah. So walkers, English, blacks, and blues. That's your four. That's going to be your kind of in line of the the stiffest competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got another question. In your opinion, what's the toughest show out there to win, and why?
That's actually, me and Buddy's discussed this, and we are both kind of in disagreement.
Okay. I want to hear both then.
I want to say the world is probably your toughest because you're not dealing with just a certain, like, Oaks, you're dealing with grands. You're just showing against grands and grands, or you're showing against champions and champions, or you're just showing against opens. But when you go to the world, it don't matter if your dog's open, grand, or champion.
Yep.
You're showing against them.
Yeah. I'd probably have to agree with that one. Buddy, what's your thought?
I think Autumn Oaks is. Now, it's because Oaks is geared towards the grands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we take an open dog or a champion every now and then, but if you take a grand to Autumn Oaks to win national grand, not only does it have to be a good grand, it has to be the best grand champion. And that's hard to do because if they've made it that far, especially at that level, I mean, it comes down to only one grand that's going to walk away with that title.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, everything has to be, the stars have to align.
And there's there's a pile of them.
And there's a pile of them.
A pile of good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, we go to these, like the World and Oaks and Winter Classic. It's like we've always said, just concentrate on winning your class.
Mm-hmm.
Concentrate on winning your cut. Like Sabrina got lucky this year, won champion male at Winter Classic.
Mm-hmm.
She made her cut. It was like, hey, you made your cut, Well, then she got picked for breed, the champion walker breed. It was like, holy smokes, Well, then our daughter, she won champion leopard with her male. So when it come down for overall champion, there was actually two dogs in there that we had brought. And when they picked Sabrina for overall champion, I mean, yeah, you could have knocked Sabrina over with a feather, but I think I was just as excited as she was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was glad I was there and got to see that. What's that dog's name? Hey, what's that dog's name?
Archie.
Archie.
Yeah. I mean, there's an interesting story behind that dog. I mean, most of our dogs, I have to say, that have come through here are what we call the reject dogs.
We've always said, yeah, it's Rowdy or it's Kennel, but it's the reject Kennel. I mean, about every dog we've got has been rejected by somebody or been a kickback because we raised the litter and somebody didn't want it.
So you've rehabilitated him back and done some winning with it, and that says something, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
that's impressive.
Archie, actually, I own with Connie Martin on him. Formerly Connie Bigley, but he might have wanted me to put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
She would get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
She actually got Archie, and she was told that he was untrainable.
Oh, really?
She brought him to Winter Classic. He was just a little bit over a year old, and I looked at her and I said, "Where'd you get him?" So, Connie, he's going to win something. I said, "He's a nice dog." Not realizing later on that he was going to come live with me.
But I got to put in a side note. This is like the third time that dog's caught her eye and it ends up in my living room. So I have to really watch her anymore.
I did not bring him home without discussing it with him first.
I know what'll happen next. Buddy will be out the door. You're going to be out the door, Buddy. Be out in the
No.
But I've got a pretty nice camper anymore. It does.
That's true. But, I mean, we did a lot of winning with Mia. But Archie has stepped that game up so much within this last year that I don't know if any dog at this point can come close to him that we've ever had.
That's good. So are you going to be taking him to Oaks? Obviously.
He is going to Oaks. He's going to the World.
Yeah, and then we're taking 3 male leopards that are all litter mates out of my Mia female that passed away. They're all going.
Yeah. So
good.
Here's the fun thing about when pushing this wonderful walker dog Archie down the road, we also throw in a leopard here and there. So we went to St. Jude and threw in the leopard, and that would be my bobtail leopard because nobody can believe that he doesn't have a naturally bobtailed. But he ended up winning best in show at St. Jude on Friday against a lot of competition, which then finished him out to champion. All of his wins have been at major events. All of his points have come from major events. He's won at Winter Classic. He's won at Autumn Oaks. Then he won at St. Jude to finish him out. He turned around and was king of show at Leopard Days this year as well.
With Connie.
With my friend Connie. So Connie and me will, if I can't go to an event, me and her will swap dogs. If I go to the event, we'll swap dogs as well and help each other out.
Good. That's awesome. Connie Martin?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So we went to Wisconsin this year to the Heartland Classic, and Savannah's leopard dog, our daughter's leopard dog, Foxtrot, went with us and finished out 2 titles there.
Yeah, confirmation champion.
Yeah, he made confirmation champion, and he got another title there too. Oh, and he made grand confirmation champion there. I forgot about that one.
Nice. Kind of cleaned house up there a little bit.
Rena did.
Yeah. Archie maybe came home with King of Show.
Mm-hmm. And the youth.
And the overall for the regular show as well. So, yeah. That's one thing that we do. If a kid comes up to me and says, "Hey, I need a dog this show," all right, here you go. Go have fun.
I'm going to hand my dogs off faster than you can say go.
Well, that little girl, she had never showed before. That was her first show ever. And Sabrina handed her Archie and kind of gave her a little crash course on, hey, this is what he does. And she won the whole thing.
That's great.
All right,
That's
buddy,
great.
I'm going to jump in here.
Oh, Garrett, I thought you was asleep.
No, I've been over here listening, just taking it all in. So what has been like the show that you guys dream about winning? Like everybody's got their show they dream about winning. What is yours?
Mine's the world. I mean, we've got 5 free trophies here, but I would like to win the whole thing. Probably never going to happen, but I mean, I would love to win the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you guys all off our loop. I want to win Automote's dual champion, national dual champion.
Yeah.
Really?
You are the second big show people I've talked to, and that's their number one goal is to win the duel at Automotes. I had another guy ask me about hunting a dog and him taking it and showing it.
Yeah.
So is that something that you think, Sabrina, do you think it's something that's just tougher to pull off or what?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
It is because they only have, they have to win their cast, against their own breed, and then go in there and win the bench show against their own breed. And then they have to turn around and go against these 6 other breeds and beat them to get that title.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
so, I mean,
pretty big.
they're hunting. Yeah.
Well, and then they limit your entries to just 100.
Yeah.
Too.
They limit that entry to 100 dogs, too.
Because we've been entered in it twice.
Yes.
Once, Rojo got sick and we
Couldn't do it.
do it. And then another time, he just got beat.
No, nobody. It was dead cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had one of those dogs who spent the whole night trailing.
Somebody was in trouble because they didn't handle the Rojo that night. And she had another handler. It didn't quite pan out the way she thought it should have. Yeah.
I'm going to... Go ahead. What's that, Sabrina?
I said, well, things happen.
Oh, yeah. So I've got something else, and I've never heard this term used until I had that English female that I took to you guys and thought that, kind of wanted you to look at her and see, if she was worthy of taking and showing into some big shows and stuff. And I remember you guys telling me one time, you said, well, are you wanting to know what we think as far as whether or not that she can show on a national level or just a small, medium-sized show, or kind of basically you was asking me, what's your goal, what do you want to do with her and all that. And I'd never had anybody ever explain that or use that terminology with me because, I'm not a show dog guy anyways, really, but I thought that she had some traits and there were some things about her I thought that maybe she had, there was a possibility for her. So as far as a caliber and the quality of the dog, it may be on a podcast hard to explain that, but without maybe seeing or showing the difference in 2 dogs or something like that. But is there any way you can go in detail, like for people that's listening that are thinking about, how cool it is to go to a big show like this? And I mean, you guys have showed on the national level in lots of different places. You're competitive, very competitive. You've won a lot in all those at that level. So
Sabrina.
Sabrina, yeah. So how is there a way to explain it on the podcast between a national level type dog and just an average type, smaller type show, and that caliber of dog never being able to make it to that level? I mean,
well, your national, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, so that's what it's worth, but your national level dog, if you read them breed standards in the UKC rule book, your national level dogs are going to meet they're going to meet every one of them, if not exceed them. you could waste a national level dog. And I have seen some national level dogs at local shows that were wasted, in my opinion, at a local show when they could have took that dog somewhere else and actually won something.
Right.
But a local dog, I mean, it is harder to judge national level dogs a lot of times than it is these local dog shows.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, sometimes it's hard to judge a local dog show.
Well, that's true.
I mean, when you're looking at the national level, like he's talking about the breed standards, knowing what those breed standards are and knowing if those dogs will meet those breed standards comes into play. When he's talking about wasting a dog at a local event and stuff like that, he's talking about, he kind of did that with his Redbone, not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
He started him at that 6 months of age and had him grinded out by the time he was what?
Wasn't quite a year old.
Yeah, he wasn't even quite a year old. And I've seen it here recently where a young dog that wasn't even a year old is already champion on the bench trying to compete against a 3-year-old dog on the bench. And they don't understand why they can't beat that 3-year-old dog on the bench because that 3-year-old dog's way more mature than a dog that's not even a year old.
Right.
Well, and it is hard to set on a dog. I mean, I've got one here right now that I'm kind of setting on. He needs one more win to be a champion. Well, if I make him a champion, then I got to show against Sabrina with his littermate brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're paying 2 entry fees for the same class.
Right.
To me, it's a waste of money, though.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, I mean, looking at that dog, one of the things that we've also talked about is that national level is, like yours in particular, I didn't know your English standard as well.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like she was at national level if you had a different handler at the time under her. Because there was a lot of the national people that felt like she was a nice looking female.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
and Uga was a nice female. But you had to teach Uga how to show every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I mean, for the first 5 minutes, she forgot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she'd be like, "Oh, showing, yeah, got it," and take off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha.
So through the years, after dealing with dogs like that, I've got picky. If I have a dog that might be national level, but if they cause me issues on the bench, I'm not going to keep them.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you
I'm
draw
not
the
going
line.
to fight.
Yeah.
I do. If I've worked you and worked you and worked you on the bench, and every single day you act like I don't know what I'm doing. If we go, and I've seen it happen, you go to a major event, this dog is a grand champion on the bench, and they walk in there and act like they don't even know how to show, you're not going to work with me. I'm not. I've seen it too many times, and I've done it, dealt with dogs that way, and that is my line. I'm done.
Well, that's like that with female eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you probably have some dogs that will fall apart on you around a big crowd and a bunch of other dogs, or do most of them don't?
Well, the one I was talking about, the leopard, which I don't think he's been showed a whole lot. We just got him back in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
I took him to an RQE and gated him. He gated fine, put him on the bench. As soon as that snake chain come off his head, he done a Superman dive trying to get off the bench, and I just happened to catch him and get him right back on it, and it shocked him enough that he stood like a statue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think he'd ever had that. Yeah, he was just like, "Holy crap, what just happened?" And he locked up and stood like a statue.
Worked out good then.
Yeah, that time I got lucky. Yeah.
Most of the dogs I have to say, have been introduced before they get to events like that, so they won't fall apart. We've started young. We've brought them in the house. We've played, honestly and truthfully, while we're working them on the bench, AC/DC live version.
Yeah.
So you got honest round sound. So they get used to that noise and everything else going around them.
And it works. That helps.
Yep.
It does.
Really?
We take them to the horse shows with us too.
Yeah.
Because the horse shows, you get the announcer, you get lots of people,
Oh, yeah.
plus the horses, and I mean, it just helps.
Oh, I bet.
You know, it also works with also their patients. We just take them places. Like, we'll even take them to honestly and truthfully, to a local event. We're not showing them. We've kind of entered them. We'll take a dog to enter, but not them. But we'll still work them there.
Mhm.
That way they're used to going places and being worked and played with.
It makes
That's
a lot
it.
of the old timers scratch their head too. Like, why are you not entering that dog? Well, I don't want to. But why? Well,
Giving them some of that exposure.
yeah.
Get used to all that. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely, they, like right now, all of our dogs go for walks with us down the roads. It's teaching them patience on that leash, to listen to us on the leash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to brag on Sabrina, but her untrainable Archie dog,
Mhm.
she walks him without a leash. He will walk right down the road. If she hollers at him, he won't come back to her, but he'll stop standing exactly where you hollered at him at until
really?
you walk up to him.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he'll stand right there.
That's awesome. He's intelligent.
He's a lot smarter than he gets credit for sometimes. Yeah.
I like an
He's got to
intelligent dog.
sit and wait for his food. So here's the fun thing. So, like, we've talked about a lot of these dogs and stuff and how we get them ready for show. One of the reasons why we do like the leopards is because of their coloration. You don't have to worry about seeing any flaws on them.
Dirt. She's talking dirt mainly.
Oh, yeah.
Which I mean, a couple of our leopards are black, look like black and tan,
Mhm.
and they get confused for being black and tan sometimes.
Mhm.
I even had a gentleman come up to me at Oaks last year
I think so.
and wanted to know why in the world we brought a bobtail black and tan to Autumn Oaks. And I mean, I was kind of like, well, we didn't. He's an American leopard hound. Oh, you can show a Kurt dog up here? I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we get that one a lot. But like Archie being the walker dog that he is, I get asked, how do I keep him so white? He lives in my house.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I got tickled at Winter Classic. Penny come by, and she's like, that dog stays in the house. Like, yes, ma'am. Yep, he does. She goes, because he is too white to not stay in the house.
She knew.
She knew.
Yeah.
Yep, she knew.
That is like, walker dogs are the worst. They get these sores. They
Hey,
get brown. Their
what
white turns brown. I mean,
what did you just say about the walker dogs?
they are extremely hard to keep clean.
Talking about you said walker
That ain't
dogs are
what
the
she
worst.
said.
The worst. The worst on keeping clean.
I like
wa-
it. This is my favorite podcast already.
He's wanting me to
I
use
love
that for a sound bite already.
I love it. That's going to be a
You
good
may have
sound
to
bite.
cut that part out.
That is going to be a good sound bite. Hey, I think
yeah.
Garrett, he's chomping at the bed. He's
Just
pointing at me.
All right.
He's got a question.
so for like somebody that's beginning, a kid or adult, to start showing, what would be some of the advice you would give to them?
Ask questions. I mean, if you go to these local events, you can tell pretty fast who's an experienced handler and who's just starting. If you go to Autumn Oaks or the World or Winter Classic or any of these major events, even like your state hunts, like I said, 9 times out of 10, if you go up and ask any of these people, they are more than happy to help you figure something out with your dog, or if you're wanting to learn how to show. I don't know how many people we've kind of started showing.
Yeah.
Got to be open-minded, as well as be willing to learn, listen.
Never know it all.
You never stop learning. I mean,
Mhm.
there are so many. I've learned tricks this year that I didn't even know about. Just simple things that I was like, oh, hey. What else? Oh, my biggest thing is invest in a show leash.
Yeah, those helped me in the beagle world. Big time. Those make a huge difference.
Well, and I mean, we've even helped a lot of the beagle people.
Oh yeah.
You know, we've helped we've helped one that won a world title, PKC world title. We've helped a few that won national grand.
Yeah.
And I always told Sabrina we need to sell the hounds to buy beagles. But
So they've got beagle shows?
Not happening.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Like
They
PKC?
have everything. Yes.
It's just like coonhounds.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yes and
PKC
no.
doesn't have bench shows for coonhounds.
Yeah, and I knew that. That's why I was shocked about the beagles. I didn't.
Yeah, but the Beagles do have the bench show still in PKC.
Nice.
But they also have the National Grand, and they also have the World, and a couple other ones like we have.
Mm-hmm.
So what's some advice you wish that you would have been given whenever you were starting out?
Have patience with a dog. Let them grow up.
don't take things personal. I've had, I ain't gonna mention no names, an older gentleman when I first started showing, I almost got out showing because he's like, the only thing wrong with that dog is you. It's like, oh, well, all right, but he had no explanation on what I was doing wrong. That was when I did talk to like Gene Allhands, and Lonnie Atchison helped me out a lot because Lonnie come up and he's like, hey, you come by the house and I'll teach you how to show that dog. And he did. Yeah. And it just kind of blossomed from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, in kind of that same vein, and I think one of the next questions Brett has is talking about some tips and tricks. What are, so you have a litter of puppies. How are you picking it, and what are you starting? How young are you starting with that puppy, and what things are you starting first with that puppy?
Like our last litter of puppies we had, which we don't raise puppies a whole lot. We'll raise puppies if we need a dog most of the time. But our last litter was the leopard hound. Yeah. And I have bred to a dog in Alabama that's kind of a no-name dog. And I'm one of these people, you tell me what to breed to, that don't mean I'm going to do it. I kind of do my research, and he was a nice dog. Well, we had this litter, and I picked this bobtail black and tan male out of the litter. I mean, and I liked him, but I also knew that in the leopard, they want that spotted dog. So there was a little spotted female that I ended up keeping, and Sabrina kept the bob dog. I kept, because she was colored up good, and we checked their conformation. I mean, from the time they're big enough to start walking around, we're making sure their leg got angulation, their legs are straight, mm-hmm. You know, everything is like it's supposed to be in them breed standards. Mm-hmm. And by the time these puppies are weaned and ready to go home, I think every one of them was ready to go to the show. I mean, they would stand like because these girls wallered them poor things every day on top of the doghouse and taught them how to show, you know.
Well, I mean, we were trying to figure out which ones we did want to keep, which one we felt would make the best on the bench. By 8 weeks of age, they say, I don't know for sure, it's still gamble that what you see at 8 weeks of age is what you're going to see when they're adult.
Well, and I mean, like I was saying, which Sabrina talked about her bob dog when, you know, he won King of Show or Leopard Days. The little spotted female is actually owned by Justin and Savannah Hofstetter.
And you.
And me. I'm silent partner. And that girl has showed that little dog all over the country. And she's a grand champion 3 or 4 now. Mm-hmm. She's won. Penny showed her at Oaks last year for us and won national grand champion leopard female. Now the only thing I can knock that little dog on is she's little. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean she's a nice little female. She's just little.
So I've got a 2-part question here, I guess. So,
Okay.
when I've raised a litter of pups for not for showing, obviously, but or if a buddy has, and we pick out a pup for each other or whatever, and if we go by looks, if any of us go by looks, a lot of times, I guess what I'm getting at is sometimes you just get lucky picking a show pup too, like a guy picks a hound pup for hunting, but if you obviously don't know what this thing's going to turn out like as far as ability for hunting, but I've noticed that a lot of times either me or a buddy, one of my buddies, have picked out a pup out of one of our litters, and that pup is just a phenomenal looking puppy at 8 weeks old, and the way that we want one to look, and then they come up through and you get it, and then they come up through this 5-month and 6-month-old, what I call the ugly stages of life, and they just continue. Yep. They continue to go downhill, just keep getting uglier. They never come out of it. Which some of them will, but it seems like the majority of them that ever like, holy cow, that thing is really changing a lot, and that thing's just getting ugly, and that don't even look like the same dog it was when it was 8 weeks old. Do you guys experience that? I know you've got to. In the show dog world.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So you've probably gotten rid of or passed on a puppy in a litter that you could have got your hands on that you thought, man, that thing's, I don't know, I don't like that one there, and you pick this one, and then later you find out that this guy over here, this lady over here had picked that pup, and is like, holy cow, I can't believe that's that puppy, because they change so much.
Well, like
I would think in the show dog world, it would just be, I would think that would just be a constant, just a struggle to try to.
Yeah, it is, Brett. Absolutely, 100%. That is definitely what you run into. You never know exactly what you're going to get. You can say, I'm going to get this one. It's going to turn out great. And then you hit about that 6, 7 month, 8 months of age, and you're going, what did I do? You're like, maybe I'll just turn away from it and I'll come back later, and they're not getting better. And you realize at that moment that this dog is not going to be what you're wanting to do, not even a little bit. So a lot of times we send them down the road.
Yeah, you just got to move on.
Yep.
If you've got a dog that you don't believe in, you're not going to push that dog. You're not going to push yourself. Showing, hunting, it don't matter. If you don't believe in that dog, you're not going to win with that dog. If you need to get rid of it and get something that you do believe in, and that's going to motivate you to go out there every day and condition that dog and practice with them dogs to go to these big events.
And I do have to agree with him on that. There's been some dogs that they were actually pretty nice looking on the bench for the most part, but I couldn't get along with them, or there was something about the dog that I did not like. And because I did not like it, I was like, it cannot stay here.
And some dogs, it's just like the hunting world. Some dogs will take up with other guys when one won't, So,
are you poking over there? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You looking at me when you said that? Are you poking?
No.
Okay.
I learned not to poke the bear.
Okay.
No, he just stirs the pot and pulls out the hairdryer.
But circling back to this idol thing, how come my name was so small?
I done that on purpose. I just thought that'd be funny. I was actually, when I'd emailed it to you, I was hoping that you would text me and say, "What's up with this?" But you never did. So, anyways.
Well, I had to put my glasses on. I thought it was just a Sabrina deal.
Sabrina Ray, yeah.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit of broad topic here, and we've been at it for over an hour, and I don't want to take up no more of your time than we need to, but I'm sure, is there some people that you like to thank, or maybe something that we missed talking about that you'd like to share before we get to the end here?
I mean, obviously, I think my husband, because if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. Um, One of the biggest things I think that people are getting into this, they need to think about and watch is watch these bench shows on YouTube and see how they're being done, as well as confirmation shows. Confirmation shows have been a huge thing on learning how to gate dogs for us and how to set them up on the ground, as well as improving us on the bench. I know that's just, most people are like, what's those? Well, those are just another title we put on them, but it's groundwork, a lot of groundwork with these dogs.
Is that kind of like your Westminster dog show with those?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I did have a question I forgot to ask a while ago that I was going to ask, and I don't know nothing about showing. I mean, nothing. But
Actually, you kind of do. We got proof of it. We're going to post a picture on the Facebook page. You guys might have you a new handler.
Yeah.
Hey,
He works cheap.
Yeah. But
hey, that's what I like.
Yeah.
you know, so like on the hound side for tree and coons and stuff, we have places like Conkeys and stuff like that to buy supplies. Is there a place, like if you were going to get into showing and you needed a show lead or a snake chain, whatever you use, is there a place to buy that stuff that y'all recommend?
So the snake chains I buy off Amazon. And that's literally what they are called, or snake chains for dogs. My other show leashes I get from Sandy Pratt. Give me a second. Remember what her Facebook thing is.
What does she make? Some custom stuff?
She does, and her Facebook is Leaves Galore More. She does anywhere from the nylon leaves to kangaroo leather.
I recommend the kangaroo. It's a little more expensive, but it is worth it.
I was in the kangaroo business.
Yeah, Garrett, you could have. Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett had a gold mine and didn't even realize it.
Yeah, he had a market.
Boy,
Could have been making kangaroo leather. Why'd you sell your kangaroo?
because I needed money.
I still think it would have been cool if you trained that joker to run around, pick the rabbit up, and stick it in his pouch.
Male kangaroos don't have a pouch, Jason.
Oh. I didn't know if it was a male kangaroo or what.
Oh, I couldn't be able to afford a female.
Oh, they're real high, huh?
Oh, bad.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah,
we,
I'm sorry.
We need to get back on track.
Yeah, we got back to the kangaroo and making money off kangaroos. We got the kangaroo leather holds up the best, softer on the hands, easier to deal with.
Okay.
You're looking at $100 right there in just that show leash alone.
Is that
Oh,
right?
my-
Wow.
Except for our anniversary that I bought you.
Yes, we'll go with that.
I don't remember. It's for one of them special holidays that I bought her. I think I gave $160 for Sabrina's show leash.
Buddy, I am impressed. You are a stud.
I think that's what I got her for like 15 years of marriage. So, I mean, I saved a little bit. That's good. Finally got her one.
And then I just got Savannah one. It's a Spider-Man one, and it costs about $160 as well.
Made out of spider webs?
Well, it's out of kangaroo, but the bead has got Spider-Man's face on it.
Oh.
Looks like Spider-Man.
But that somebody
Gotcha.
is making these custom
I'm being silly.
leads, the Facebook page or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not buying this stuff from like Conkeys or W or some of them places.
No.
Okay.
No, you can actually Google show leads and kangaroo leather, and it will pull up all kinds of stuff. I forget where I ordered Sabrina's from, but it's 4 strands of kangaroo leather woven together, purple, black, gray, and blue.
Now, Sandy Pratt, like I said, does have the nylon ones. They are quite a bit cheaper than the kangaroo. They do last a while, and they are nice. That's what we started with, was nylon. And that was something we had to learn, I think, pretty fast, was the snake chain, the nylon leash. And then later we had to learn how to use those things.
When we first started, I was just using a regular old dog leash and a dog collar. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, I see a few people using snake chain, but most people in local shows are using just regular old dog lead and collar, you know. But anyway,
Well,
I didn't mean to sidetrack you there. I wanted to ask that question I forgot to ask earlier about, you know, equipment and stuff that you use. But so was there anything else you wanted to share there?
another big thing is making sure dogs' toenails are cut. We use a Dremel tool. I actually bought mine off of Amazon that runs off a battery. And then it's called a diamond head Dremel. So I don't ever have to change out the head anymore. The diamond head lasts forever, and they're like $20 to $40 for the diamond heads. But those toenails is what sets your dog's feet. I mean, if they're too long, they cannot get up on those toes.
Mm-hmm.
So you want those toenails as short as we can get them, basically.
You gotta learn to look really quick too.
Yeah.
I don't want too short, or you cause damage.
Yeah.
Right? But
I
mean, that's
remember
why
Jens preaching with me on the toenails back in the day. I remember some of that.
I still preach that.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty important. There's so many details with the show and stuff. I mean, I would think that a lot of it you really can't cut corners doing things. And I thought of another question, because I have noticed, and you kind of brought it up earlier about the white color on. I don't even want to say that breed.
Say it.
I don't even want to say the name of that breed of dog. But
Walker
anyways,
dog, Korean Walker Coonhound.
I've noticed
on
that.
breed.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the breed of champions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Man, 4-on-1 here. I ain't got a chance. All right, but let's say any color of white on let's say whether it's an English dog or a Walker dog, like you was talking about Archie and Penny saying you keep that dog inside. I guess basically my question is, if you didn't keep that dog inside, is there a way of making that dog be as just white as paper, pristine? I mean, is there special shampoos and conditioners and different things out there that are available, and do they work? Is there little special formulas that people do, and everybody's kind of got their little secret? I'm not trying to get you to tell anything. I don't want you to tell any secrets, because I know I'm like that way on some things, so I don't expect you to be that way. But just to give it out to the world here, but.
There is. For like white on dogs and even black on dogs, there's actually two different types of shampoo. For white, you have what's called white on white. You have to be careful with it, though, because it's purple. And when you lather it on, if you get on the side of your tub or anything like that, if you don't immediately wash it off, it will stain your tub purple.
That is the voice of experience.
You guys got a purple tub, don't you? So to make a dog extra white, the color of that stuff is purple.
Yes, and you lather it in, and for some reason, when you rinse it off, it turns them extremely white. But it's called white on white.
Okay.
He's writing this down because he's going to order some to wash my Walker dog with so he can show him.
I would not wash that dog with
Then
Dawn
there's some black
for
on
you.
black too.
What's the black on black? What's that? Is it like, what's the color of it?
It's the
White?
same.
No, it's black.
It's black.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's black. Yeah.
Okay.
And it works a lot the same way. It'll make the black just really shine and really make it show up good.
That's what Brett needs for his hair.
Mine ain't black.
That's called hair dye that you can get at Walmart.
Yeah. But
Just
mine
for
ain't
men.
black. That's what Jason needs. He needs some just for men black. Looks like
That's true. Brett's more of a brown.
Yeah, mine's kind of start turning gray, but not as bad as yours. You look like you got a couple baby possums living on above your ears.
Yours look like a skunk. What are you talking about?
Hey, after we get off the podcast, though, for real, in the next day or two, I'll text you or call you. The reason I was asking about that was I had a situation once, and I mixed up this concoction. And I'm not being funny here. I'm being serious.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to tell you about it. And I just want to pick your brain. But I mixed up this concoction, and I have never seen so white in my life on a dog. And it was a fluke deal. I wasn't even trying to do that. It was for something else. It was for another reason.
The dog didn't start out as a red tick, did it?
What, the dog?
Yeah.
No.
It ended up being a white dog.
No, it was a blue tick English dog that has white on it. He had white on him. But I've never seen the white on a dog like that. Ever.
I know he wasn't even sticking up as for a skunk.
He's trying to get the skunks.
Well, like when we first kind of started, we used liquid laundry soap.
Yes.
On the dogs. I mean,
And it works. It makes them pretty white. Liquid laundry detergent does.
Yeah. Interesting. I'll let you know what I've done later. Because maybe you've tried it, but I'm not going to mention it on here because I may have lucked out and
not killed the dog.
No, I may be putting you guys onto something. You never know.
Yeah, we may be the next big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before he wades off above his waders over here.
I was being serious.
Yeah. What was there? Like I said before, we kind of got sidetracked there because we was asking questions, and Brett's wading off in the weed somewhere. But we've been at an hour and a half. Was there anybody else? Anything else you wanted to mention, or anybody you wanted to thank, or anything like that?
I'd like to thank Gene Allhands for one. I mean, Gene helped us out a lot, especially when we first got started. The late Lonnie Atchison. I mean, Lonnie took the time that he didn't have to, and not just one day. It was day after day for weeks once, helping me figure out a dog. And Lonnie would always, at a show, he could be like, hey, you know what you did wrong? You know what you did right? And, he would go from there. My mom and my dad, honestly. Dad coon hunted some when I was a kid, but very little. But once I started, he kind of got going. But he's went to a lot of the shows with me until I got married to Sabrina.
And I have one more person to thank that Buddy will sit here and roll his eyes at after I say it. The late George Beale. I mean, without him at the Uchman every year telling me that I'm the best handler in the world, that no one should beat me, I don't know what I would do without that man. He was wonderful and very supportive throughout the years and kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we became very close friends and throughout these years, and he always encouraged me. Even when I was at my worst with my dogs, he still encouraged me.
That's good.
Yeah, it takes people to encourage you, that's for sure, not always browbeat you.
Yeah, I try to do that to Jason. I try to, tell him he's doing good and this and that. And then he brings home Walker Dog. I'm like, we didn't talk about that. That wasn't in your notes last week. Oh, what you doing?
Well, honestly, I got to thank Brett, too. Because if it wasn't for the hairdryer story keeping me going all these years, I don't know what we'd done.
Yeah.
Oh, and never let Brett ever pick out hotel rooms either.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was a fluke deal.
That was one of them learning experiences going to Automokes, too.
I didn't know they was running a business out of that hotel room when I booked it on there when I called them.
By the sounds of it, it was a profitable business.
Well,
the worst hotel stay ever.
Well, I want to. I mean, I've never met you personally, but I want to say thank you for taking time, on a weekday evening to sit down and record with us and share, your stories and share some of your experiences. And I'm sure somebody out there, I get a lot of requests for more bench show people on the podcast. So I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that listen that really appreciate this and will be able to gain some knowledge from it and be able to, take some of the advice that y'all have given, here today and be able to use it, here in the future, with their dogs. So I appreciate y'all taking time to be on here.
I also want to say that Buddy and Sabrina, they're great people. If you're at a show and you're interested in showing, you got any questions, just like they said, you can walk up to them too. You can ask them. They're going to help you all they can, and there's not two better people in the country to talk to if you need some help. Just talk to them.
Well, we appreciate that. I mean, we like to have fun. I mean, that's the name of the game, having fun.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Got to have fun along the
If
way.
you guys make it to Oaks or whatever, come by and see us. We always are up to having some good laughs and good times.
You bet.
Yeah.
Good luck when you go up there too. I'm not going to be able to make it, so.
Yeah.
Wish you all good luck up there.
Yeah.
That's
for
coming
sure.
up quick. That's just around the corner.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, guys, for coming on here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yep. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
Yep, you too.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.